being match fit. As you guys know, last March, when lockdown happened, most of us went into a survival mindset at that point. And I'm not just talking about businesses now, I'm talking about people in general. We went into a survival mindset during lockdown. How do we get through the week? How do we get through the month? How do we get through the year? And so on and so on and so on. We then started coming out of lockdown and started to reset. We started to reset and go, okay, how are we going to do things differently, permanently or semi-permanently, with the idea to get to a point of excelling. So survival mode, short-termism, reset mode, thinking about the longer term again, doing things in a different way going forward in order for us to excel moving forward. Unfortunately, a lot of us didn't get to this excel phase. Why? Because in the middle of resetting, we were put into another lockdown. Okay, and then again, we started to survive and we started to come out and reset, and then finally, we were put in, well, I say finally, I've got my fingers crossed it's finally, but we got put into another lockdown at the beginning of the year, which was probably the biggest wallop for people. It was probably the biggest whack around the head of all of this, because I think a lot of people thought 2020 is out the way, 2021 is going to be better, and then of course we were put into another national lockdown when we came in. So we have been bouncing about between these two things for the last 12 months. Okay, bouncing about between these two things for the last 12 months. So there will be a time, kind of putting my money on it, where we need to do this in 2021. All of this type of stuff is now being looked at kind of semi-permanently going forward, which is why obviously the hospitality industry are getting very stressed about this, because obviously social distancing in a hospitality venue is quite challenging. But certainly from a business point of view, we're having to go, okay, you know, we at Solution Focus, we've definitely noticed this. In the last 4 weeks, we have noticed in the first 2 weeks of January, nothing. In the last 4 weeks, we are getting people contacting us, basically saying they can't keep waiting. They can't keep waiting for a face-to-face classroom environment to be okay. They can't keep waiting for development. They can't keep waiting for people to support their employees and so on and so on and so on. So how can we just do this differently anyway going forward? And so we've noticed there's been a massive upsurge in questions and you know, inquiries coming into us that that's the case, okay? So at some point, hopefully, as you know, Mr. Johnson says, we want a, you know, slow release of rules that are irreversible. So we don't have to go through all of this yet again, because this is the problem. And remember why? It's because of the change. So we need to make sure that we are going to be match fit when the time is right to be able to excel in whatever the new world looks like, okay?